look at the food. Look at the income. He is negative on both wood and food right now. Kazva cannot afford any new troops. Or maybe another episode of Legends of Korra? Let's find out. As we are going to be going for some good old Dry Arabia with more HRE. I feel like I see Kazva picking HRE a lot in Dry Arabia. Probably more so than almost any other player in the competitive scene right now. On the other side, a little bit less seen actually at the moment. The Rus here on Dry Arabia as well. This could end up being an interesting map. I'm kind of interested to see what's going to happen with the build for the Rus, especially against the HRE. Will he choose to go for like a second TC? Will he go for a Castle Age Boom? Because I think the thing to keep in mind is like there's a lot of flexibility with the way the HRE play at the moment. Mainly because like I guess a lot of the strategies look underwhelming, right? So none of them have been seen as dominant, right? You've got the Castle Age Rush into Burgrave spam. You've got the multi-TC build. You've got the old Regnets. You've got the all the way to Imperial Rush with Palace to Swipe as quick as possible. There's a lot of flexi. We still haven't seen any flexi towards a feudal Rush HRE build. At least maybe we saw it like the first 2 days, but since then no one's bothered. For those wondering why I said Core is in this game, I'm not going to refer to him as this. You have to earn this title, Core. So you can see by his name, he believes that he's going to be a future FFA tourney champ. He's got his eyes set on Drongo's tournament, clearly. We'll have to see if that works out. He's definitely been hard on the grind. In fact, one thing I love about Core is that he's always trying to set up these mega random free-for-alls with the pros, which I just love to see. You know, regularly getting people like the Muslim involved, BC involved, makes it very interesting sessions. Always finds his way to a corner where he can camp. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts shifting towards the back. Wait, why is he standing? Okay, it looks like he lost the vision of the wolf. I was about to say, to Core's true form, he has reverted to a corner where he's camping. Looks like he will move out now, though. And let's see if Kazva has any experimentation in mind here. I mean, I think he's been the leader in a lot of these experiments. The most notable one that I've noticed Kazva do more frequently than most other players is the outpost relic play that a lot of players are now been kind of innovating. So I feel like he was probably the first one to start doing it. And the way he would do it originally is he would move out with a builder, build outpost next to the relics, and then move a prelate around, banking them instantly, remembering that the prelates do move a little bit quicker than your standard monks, right? So it's a little bit more efficient that way. But more recently, he seems to have kind of dialed that back. He doesn't do it as frequently, at least not to the extent he used to, where he would actually sneak behind his opponent's base and put an outpost next to the relic they were closest to. But opening on the other side, of course, Core is going to be playing into the bounty system where he's already seeing good returns on investment. Kazva, looks like he did go... Wait, how many scouts did he go for? Should just be 2 with the double prelate. Yeah. So remember, one big difference to the HRE is you're going to have to get used to seeing full military at an early point compared to where it used to be free, because now you start with a prelate, right? You start off with one, and this was actually a big buff. Even though they took a starting gold of 100 away from you, it's still a big buff because you now don't have to waste a villager production cycle building the prelate. And instead, you also buff your initial villagers straight away, as opposed to 20 seconds down the line. So that's actually a lot of additional resources you're being able to gather via the initial Holy Inspiration, plus the fact you have an additional villager in your early workforce. But looks like Kazva will go for that extra early prelate anyway. And with this sort of spawn, it's going to be to his benefit as well. It means he'll be able to shift the prelate across to his wood line while buffing everything else up with this Arcan Chapel. Meanwhile, over in the basic core, nothing out of the ordinary. We are going to get your standardized build into the Golden Gate. Question mark as to where he's going to go next, though. Will he get aggressive? Will we see the double stone purchase into TC Boom? Or does he feel like he needs to be on the midfield, kind of dictating flow? Could even be a play towards Pro Scouts. We've seen a few players who still opt into Pro Scouts. Might feel a little bit slow against the HRE, though. After all that, 260 bounty. I think there's still maybe a few wolves and sheep left on the map. But most of them have been gathered up now. So good denial overall from Kazva, actually. If Core can't crack 300, you're pretty happy as the counterpart to the Rus here. Usually if they're over 300, that's where you've given a little bit too much flexi on the map and you've given them too much eco value. Because at the end of the day, you're giving them a flat amount of extra gold into their economy. In this situation, because Core had to build 2 scouts, that cost him 140 resources. He did make money off that, right? Gaining extra 125 in return in the different form in gold. But he didn't like bolster that up to ridiculous degrees. Instead, he goes for the ball play, though. And Kazva knows about this. question is what Kazva can do, because you are an HRE player, that wants to go for multi-TC, so it looks like Core's going to get away with this. And an interesting play might emerge for Core. He might still go for a secondary TC himself once he scouts this detail out. Really defendable location as well. Hunter Cabin, not necessarily optimal. Core missed an opportunity to actually drop it right here in the tight spot, but he will deny Kazva his own outpost. As you can see, he was going for the pull. In fact, he was bringing 7 villagers out to try and construct this up. Instead, it's just going to be a wall. He could still build a TC here to be frustrating. But if he does, it's going to be delayed. In fact, this rush up is going to be too late. You're just going to have to back away. You might lose some villagers if you commit to this, Kazva. This is a bad timing. Wooden fortress constructed. Target onto the villagers. I don't like this play now from Kazva. Kazva's going to lose 2, maybe 3 villagers at least. And he's got too many here to even garrison them inside. We'll pull a few in, but one of them is going to be exposed. And looks like that one is going to feel the wrath of the Wooden Fortress. This outpost, at least, may be able to deny the boar gathering. We'll have to see, though. Backside, able to reach in, but not maintain that fire. So it looks like overall, Kazva, with this investment, will not be able to stop his opponent. That will change when the Arrow Slits comes out, though. Remember, Arrow Slits do get additional range on this tower. This tower is sitting at 8 tower range. Will go up to 9. Still a frustrating investment nonetheless out of Kazva. Oh, he's going to lose more villagers at this rate. 2 more strikes needed, won't be able to find it. But with only 3 villagers here, the scouts can just walk away freely, and now they can harass your stone line. The way you do this, by the way, is not by attacking villagers. You have to go after the Prelate, as the Prelate otherwise will heal any damage you do. Looks like enough stone was gathered, so Kazva doesn't have to hang around here. We'll go for the secondary TC, but like we were highlighting, Core now has the option to do this as well, as the hand has been revealed. And actually, he has free supplies, so this is really cool. Core can instantly look to sell, for example, food, and then double buy stone. And he'll have enough wood and stone in the next half a minute to basically afford a TC expansion. We'll see if he goes for it, though. At the moment, instead of just building a Hunter Cabin out on the deer. I don't know about this. I feel like you could have went for a TC expansion. I think a TC expansion is even better here, right? You get it next to the deer because there's perfect room for it. And then you can just expand and connect your base. And you're not going to be harassed anytime soon, especially considering Kazva stopped off for his own secondary TC. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd say this is optimal. And I guess if Core wants to end the game now, it's just I'm always a little bit finicky about like the value in these ram rushes against the HRE, because at the end of the day, like, you can apply a lot of pressure, but they do have emergency repairs, right? So they have got a way of offsetting your pressure point, and it can allow them to unlock castle by the time you're finally breaching base. So we'll see if it works out for Core. Historically, it doesn't work out to make this play over getting your own boom into castle, but Core clearly has a plan, and it doesn't involve teching up anytime soon. Archer's already starting to be produced. Good vision maintained, so Core can kind of see the layout, what the plan is from Kazva. Sees and gets confirmation for sure on that second TC and its location. Kazva still gaining a little bit of stone here. This could be a very slow third TC. I wouldn't expect it, though. Like, I don't actually remember the last time I saw a free TC HRE. It's quite the interesting play. That's my diplomatic way of saying you're throwing the game. I think 2 should really be enough, especially considering how quickly you can then bolster up into Imperial. What he might try and do, though, is go for the outpost upgrades. Right now, Core, yeah, he is committing. He is getting the siege engineering, so it looks like he does want to go fast in this game. And with 4 archery ranges, he has got a critical timing ahead of him in the next 3 minutes, but it's a very small window of opportunity against the HRE, who do tend to boom up fast. Keep in mind, these walls are going to delay you, notably. Probably an extra 30 seconds, I'd say, at least, at this rate. That might be enough breathing room for Kazva to actually reach castle. And, well, if he does reach castle, Kazva is a Burgrave enthusiast, which means he'll be able to get the man-at-arms out in force against an archer-only battalion, at which point Core doesn't actually have an answer. Right now, he needs that siege engineering ASAP. Done in 10 seconds. We'll look to get the first ram ready. You can see he's got surplus wood now. He's going to take a little bit of time to breach through. Might even be worth pulling a villager just to chop this tree. Would be a lot quicker than waiting around, as the walls are going up all around. Kazva actually spreading really wide with this as well, so gaining a lot of territory as a result of this. Blacksmiths as well. So Kazva, yeah, he understands his timing. Didn't get the so he went Archer Chapel instead of Minework, so he doesn't have the blacksmith already for the marching drills, but there should be marching drills as soon as he gets tech up so that he can instantly chase down these archers. Because once you do have marching drills, your men-at-arms move at 1.24 movement speed. These archers move at 1.25. And if you're close enough, you'll begin a charge animation, which will allow you to gap close a lot quicker. Nice snipe on the villagers at least coming out. Second wall did go up, though, and Kazva likely to think this is worthwhile, considering he did go for 2 TCs. And he's just delaying this for good reason. Burgrave Palace underway. And Core, I don't know about these timings right now. We highlight this already, right? Up against the HRE, you're going to be delayed either way. These walls guarantee that. Looks like maybe one wall didn't go up at least, so there might be a wiggle in. He's going to hack around, may even not notice that until he's full through the wall. While that's happening, Kazva halfway up the Burgrave. Marching drills will probably be lined up after the Iron Undermesh. And then the push out of Man-at-Arms will begin. And you can see Kazva, he's already stockpiled gold. It's just food that might be a limiting factor for him. Needs to be careful. There's no wrap around the west side. Maybe even thinks about sneaking out on the east side. He's looking to pick up the first of the relics here with the Prelate. And look at this straight away. Core knows what he's targeting. Mistakes were made. Kazva, he'll fall back onto the berries. This will delay the wrap around. And instead now Core, instead of trying to wrap there, will just choose to build up the ram. He now knows he needs to go as he sees the cast laser, gets his confirmation. The summon and dance is underway, but remember, it's slower than it used to be. And the Burgrave push is faster than it used to be because of the changes, right? It used to be that you had to wait the full 20 seconds to get 5 units push out at once, and also the tech ups weren't 5 times faster, but now this offers up a window of escalation for Kazva, something he will look to exploit. And because he has the emergency repairs, he can afford to pull all the villagers away. This will not be a quick assault, folks. Remember, this E repairs, you can kick it in right towards the end of the TC's health and heal up all the damage done to it. And I'm having my doubts. You need more rams, you need fast core. A lot of people on wood here, 26 in fact, makes sense as well. Remember that it actually costs more wood to build archers than it does food. 30 food, 50 wood. There's the E-Repairs force. We'll switch over onto the Archer Chapel now. Prelate backing off with the relic that he's bringing to the forefront. Knights are going to chase out. Man-at-Arms rather going to chase out. Although their damage is low, their armor is high. Their effective HP in this fight is very notable, as these archers are being reduced to 1 damage per shot. The villagers pull out. Chasing on the rams, forcing them away. A few villagers are going to be sacrificed. They get targeted. Now the Man-at-Arms get maximum damage out against the formation for Core. Core has to back away fast. We'll renew the assault. The emergency repairs available in 15 seconds. This is going to be tight, but with 3 rams, it should be just quick enough. Enough to see. Down to 800 health. He needs some repairs here. It's just not there, though. TC expansion is going to burn. 1 town center down, and Kazva now in a situation where he is eco-locked behind Core. By quite the margin as well. 33 to the 42. Core really on point, actually sacrificing a lot of archers to snipe out the villagers there. The pull was a little bit too aggressive, and now Kazva has to make that pull again. This time, at least, the archers are further away, but the Man-at-Arms, I mean, there's barely been a dent in them. Killed off 2 of them in this time. Torches being hurled onto the rams. Ark Chapel is going to be burst through. More villagers falling. More troops coming in. Core keeping up the pressure and shrinking the base. And now Kazva, he needs to get more troops out, but he hasn't got food. This is the problem, folks. This is why it's still only 3 Man-at-Arms. Look at the food. Look at the income. He is negative on both wood and food right now. Kazva cannot afford any new troops. That means villagers as well. And these prelates, I mean, they're not even being pulled to keep the Man-at-Arms alive. I don't know what Kazva's plan is here. It looks like we finally will realize what's happening here. He did pull out. He did shift out of the base towards the deer. This will keep him alive for the moment, but the pressure is not going to let up as Core continues the never-ending assault. In fact, he can afford more rams. I wouldn't be surprised if Core builds 2 additional rams right now. There it is, construct underway. E-repair is going to delay the siege, but the siege's damage is about to double up here in Kazva. He'll try to pull the villagers out, but the archers can insta-respond if Core is paying attention. There it is, shifts in place. A few more villagers going down. It's going to cost him 2 more. Trades out for a ram. Seems good, actually, if anything, for Core. Is pop cap right now. Does need to resolve that problem. Once that has been resolved, this count is going to continue to increase. About to go up to 3 rams again. We'll renew the assault. And it looks like all villagers are out the TC and gathering. Food is incoming for Kazva, so he's able to get back into that Man-at-Arms production. Might be able to reach critical mass here. Core seems like he might have missed the window slightly. Now building up to the 4th of the rams. but this is my concern. That I mean, you've got to suspect this, right? Like, look at the scout positioning. Core should know that there is a pocket eco. There's no way in hell that Kazva is surviving here like this. He doesn't have the ability to trade frequently in good numbers in the marketplace. He's not gathering on the wood line. He's not gathering the gold. Like, you should be fully aware. Alarm bells should be going off in your head right now that Core needs to be looking elsewhere. Like, he can't just commit here. Send a small group of archers out. Find out what Kazva is doing to keep alive here, because there is no way he's keeping alive in his own base economically. The ram pull. I don't know. I think Core is going to start the hemorrhage now. I mean, he's trying to snipe villages. He is maintaining an eco lead, but Kazva's tech up is going to become a bigger and bigger issue now. Like, up to 10 man arms, make that 11. I'm not even going to keep counting them. They come out every 4 seconds, so it's a little bit hard to keep up. The Rams trying to commit again, but the torch is out. I mean, this is just bad trades for Core. Villagers, Kazva. Tempted fate there. Gives good trades over the man at arms. I mean, Core, look, come on, look at the bodies, man. Find the eco. Find the eco, win the game. He's finally done it. The Knights are out. This is what he needed. This is the moment that mattered. But Kazva, is it going to be the Kasplata for him? I mean, he got a decent amount of man at arms out. Decent damage done to the archer count. Might be difficult to renew the siege now. Kazva, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to wiggle his way out onto the berry line, but you can see he's hesitant. You can see he knows that he's being spotted in this area, so he doesn't want to take the risk. With 8 man at arms left over, this might be enough to just diminish the count of archers down to about 10. Especially considering they have nowhere to run due to the natural defenses alongside the palisades that Kazva built a long time ago. Knights, they have at least blocked the eco now. Will force Kazva to risk it for the biscuit and go out into the deer. Understanding his man at arms are keeping the count of archers at bay and shrinking their numbers at all times. This is going to land to push more man at arms. I mean, it seems so trivial. It seems so one-dimensional, but that's Core's fault. What Core has done here is force this one-dimensional nature, right? You build archers, I build man at arms. And it really, like, the non-one-dimensional nature, the depth that comes from this is around the eco. The eco that Kazva is once again exploiting. It's Core, unless he's teching up, I just don't like this play anymore. Like, he's not eco-booming, he's not teching. It's just archers. It's non-stop archers. And it's not going to win you this game. Knight switch up could help a little bit, but right now, I just feel like this is starting to switch in favor of Kazva. He's even re-walling. That's the sacrifice. The archer's going to be blocking it, though. And Kazva, I don't even know if you needed to make this play. You could have actually walled closer to your base and forced a wrap around, but instead, this feels a little bit dicey. I don't think you need to sacrifice more villies there. Now, 24 villages ahead. Core should be in a situation where Castle Age is actually feasible, but right now, he's not reaching for it. Kazva, in the meantime, is reaching for food. Predator out here as well. Double outpost, making sure that he has a way of insulating himself if an assault should come in. And a farm switch up now underway. This is going to be big for Kazva. So far, the limitation for him has always been food. This can fix everything. MAA, at least we'll try to garrison. The dive coming through. The Knights can do some damage here, as you have way too much eco to protect inside that town center. They will start to punish you for exactly that. It may only be early Knights. The damage may be lower, but it adds up when you consider the fact that, you know, Kazva, he has got these textiles, but the prelates, like, they're so busy buffing out in separate areas. You haven't got this stacked healing force in the center. It looks like Kazva, he's quick to react. He actually got the maces already. Okay, this is... I have my doubt now. I think we've reached the end of the road with this court. Switch up now, or your own despair awaits you. Especially with all the... Oh no, all the ramps going down. I don't know. I feel like Core, he's trapped himself now. He feels like he has to invest hard into this, but if you look, he can just save at any point. Like, this is kind of baffling part through all of this, is at any stage, Core could have just chosen to tech up. Like, he didn't necessarily need to reinvest this count to keep this pressure on. Eventually, Kazva would have moved out, yes. But the moment you teched up, you could have been pushing crossbows with 4 archery ranges. Instead, he continues to just butt heads. Archers, Knights, trying to keep him in at the walls. Oh, he tapped the hammer. That's going to delay it slightly. And that's a problem, because now you don't have Knights to fight up against the man at arms. And that is a lot of... Wait. Oh. Whoops. Whoops. It actually did matter in the end. Kazva, remember, this was from earlier when he first put up the walls. He never completed it this whole while. Oh my god, the swings and roundabouts in this. I mean, Core actually might still stand a chance as a result of this. Archer count is getting a little bit lighter, and he is starting to get pushed out. And the problem is, although you do have a flood through point still, it's a choke point. A choke point that a few man-at-arms can just hold you in and stop you from moving through. And the wall low. Looking to yoink one or two of the archers. Will be a little bit too late for that, but Kazva should be able to run back the relic now. Should be able to run back the... Okay, forget it. They're not even killing him. Okay, finally he's gonna... I was like, no way you leave him there. Wait for another wall attempt, huh? I mean, Kazva is still stabilizing. Like, he's not out of this, right? You have to remember that behind all this, there's the farms. Like, the farms are still building up. Now up to 6 total. And the resources are drying up, but he can move further away from the combat onto these berry bush lines where he's less likely to be harassed. And that's why it's important to keep the knights in the choke point. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That wasn't part of the plan. Just a few knights who break through here can actually distract a lot of these man-at-arms and stop you gaining ground. And they don't have to kill eco, they just have to stunt your gathering, right? That's the more important detail here. Cool. I think he might even be going... He is. He's going for the TC. Yeah. I was like, he's either going for additional military infrastructure or he's going for a town center. And considering he's floating almost 1,500 wood, it makes sense to go for this play. So he's going to eco boom now. It's kind of baffling that this is working so effectively, but he doesn't need to castle anytime soon anymore. Because he's forced Kazva to invest to hold the ground he has. He's not gaining ground. And Kazva... Although he's getting this farm count up, now you no longer have that economical lead. You haven't for a long time. It's going to escalate even further. You're 24 villages behind the Roost player here, and it's about to get worse. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if Core just goes for castle now. Because if you look at the numbers, he could actually afford to support about an extra 2 to 3 archery ranges, as well as an extra stable. But why do that if you can just get crossbows now? Like, he could actually rush up if he wants to. It looks like for now, he's going to insulate himself by going for the farming transition with the ability to still push troops. But after that, I'm expecting Castle Age, and after that, I'm expecting a GG from Kazva. Kazva is going to at least be able to yoink more of these relics to build a monastery at the back. No Tithe Barns yet, my friend, though. You have to get all the way up to the Imperial. Chase in. As the man-at-arms are starting to dive in to Core's base, and Core... Still not underway with that tech up, just building more farms up. Wait, Core. All right. We talked about how Core would win this. Just cruise mode, get castle, win game. Turns out, it might be too late. That man-at-arms count is too big, and Core is too exposed. He didn't renew the front line. He stopped pushing archers. He got too greedy, and now he is going to be spanked for it. Oh, no. You needed walls. Imagine if he walled here. Just imagine if you pass 8. Imagine if you pulled 4 villages and walled this in. How long you would have delayed Kazva. How easily you would have accessed castle. But because you didn't, because of this flood out, Kazva now has you running in circles. With a lot of idle eco. And no way of now reaching up into castle. And Kazva with a way of reaching out. The man-at-arms push continues. The numbers looking more healthy as he stabilizes the food eco, now sitting up at a pretty damn healthy count of farms, up at 13. And I think this game is swings and roundabouts, folks, because this one is now starting to look in favor of Kazva. The military is shrinking fast. 12 military left for Core, and his eco exposed afterwards. I think this is done. I just don't see how you recover now. You're too reliant on pocket ecos. You don't have static defenses. You don't have a wall in. And you don't have enough military production to push back the bulky man-at-arms. And you're not going to reach critical mass anymore. I mean, honestly, like, you're pin cushioning them here. It's just too much effective HP on these troops. The knight push out is too slow. You need to, like, 4 stables to match this. I mean, in a fight one-on-one, like, the damage doesn't favor you here. It's 20 damage compared to the 19. You might have slightly more health, but that evens up in a fight and allows him to overwhelm. And Core, I don't know, like, clutching defeat from the jaws of victory, it felt like. Like, he was in good stead here. All he needed to do was find the wiggle room for a castle up, but it feels too late now. The food is finally there, but it comes at the cost of the game. Kasva is just going to be non-stop pushing troops now. He doesn't need to tech up. He has full control. He has flow-through into Rico, and as a result, he has this game in his clutches. And it sounds like that's a GG. Cool. He'll just thump his head against the keyboard and pass out here for the evening because he's done. Kasva looking pretty dominant, showing you exactly what you can do with the non-stop Burgrave push. Definitely a problematic scenario in that game when he was being blocked on the food sources, but nice clutch reaction to move out in the pocket eco. Just a shame for Core he wasn't able to react as quickly and wasn't able to deny the food back in base. Had he been able to do so, I honestly think that in this situation, this could have been a dub for Core still. It's all about starving resources from this build from Kasva, but because he only done that in the initial siege and he didn't continue it throughout, Kasva got an opportunity to recover. And once he gets up to about 8 man at arms, that's when it becomes a nuisance, as you saw so clearly here.